Hey, are you planning to sell your Seattle Eastside home? Here's what could cost you $50,000 or more, which is the single biggest mistake sellers make in Bellevue, Redmond, and Kirkland. And the worst part? Most sellers don't realize they're making it until it's too late. Now what if you could avoid this mistake completely and actually sell it for more in less time? Hey, Ravi Ramachandran with Rams Group here. We are Seattle and Eastside realtors. We help relocating families, luxury home sellers, and buyers every day. Doing this for years, I've watched countless Eastside sellers lose tens of thousands of dollars because of one critical pricing mistake. Here in this video, I'm revealing exactly what that mistake is, why it backfires so badly in our market, and the strategic pricing approach we use in the Rams seller system, which is proprietary to us, to help sellers get more money instead of less. And by the way, if you are planning to sell your Seattle Eastside home, I'd be happy to help. My contact information is in the description below. Let's get together to develop a strategic pricing plan that maximizes your sale price, okay? And whether you're just starting to think about selling your home, book a 20-minute slot into our calendar for a discovery call. It's absolutely free. So getting back to it, here's the issue. First, let's look at what the number one pricing mistake Eastside sellers make is, which is overpricing their home. And I know what you're thinking, but Ravi, if I price high, doesn't it give me room to negotiate later? Not really. That's exactly what most sellers believe, and it is exactly why they lose money. Here's the reality. When you overprice your home, you're not creating negotiating room. You are creating a massive problem that gets worse every single day your home sits on the market. Let me explain why. The first 2 weeks or 14 days your home is listed are the most critical days in your entire selling process. And this is when you have the maximum buyer attention, especially when it's new and fresh on the market. Now, every serious buyer in your price range, every agent searching for their clients, and all those people are looking at new listings, and yours will just figure in their search. And that is your moment to peak exposure. Say if your home is overpriced to begin with during these critical first 2 weeks, aka the initial launch period, buyers look at your home, compare it to properly priced homes that are your competition, and move on. They either don't make offers or make lowball offers, or many don't negotiate. They just plainly skip it. And here's the kicker. Once you've burned through the initial wave of buyer attention with the wrong price, you can never get it back. And statistics prove it. Let us also see why overpricing specifically backfires in the Seattle Eastside market. And Seattle Eastside buyers, for the most part, are very sophisticated. They're data-driven, they're analytical. They're tech professionals, many of them, executives as well, and educated buyers predominantly. And many of them do know the market, they keep tabs. They analyze comparable sales, they understand value, and what have you. And so when the market is fraught with buyers of that kind, and when they see an overpriced home in, say, Bellevue, Redmond, or Kirkland, or pretty much the East Side, they recognize it immediately. And instead of even going ahead and making an offer, they wonder, why is this home overpriced? What is so special? Or they also think, why is the seller so unrealistic? Then what happens? Weeks go by, your home sits on the market and ages, and eventually you as the seller have to reduce the price. Painful. But here's the problem with price reductions as well. They don't just reset the clock, they plainly signal to buyers that the home was overpriced to begin with, that the seller is getting desperate, and that maybe there's even more room to negotiate down. This is exactly what is going on in the buyer's minds, and their psychology works that way. Now, I see this pattern constantly, right? A beautiful $1.5 million home in Bellevue gets listed for $1.75. It sits on the market for 30 days. Price then gets reduced to $1.65 million when it doesn't sell. Not ideal. Sits another 30 days, another reduction to $1.55 million, and finally sells for $1.45 million, making it super less than what it would have sold. It was priced correctly from day one. Sellers normally think about pricing a home this way, right? We'll start high and come down if we need to. Now, gone are those days when crazy bidding wars and multiple offers were the norm. Now you need to price your home right from day one, right out of the gate, so that you get top dollar and sell it quickly, and you evoke more buyer interest in your home. That's important. So your goal would be to create competition amidst buyers. When buyers compete, you as a seller would win. Plus, all this adds up, right? When you list a home at a higher price, you have mortgage payments, you have carrying costs, you have inconvenience that you have to bear with, and your family is going through all this. So there are a few ill effects of overpricing. So when it comes to pricing, what is the alternative, you ask? Strategic pricing is what we call it. Now, this is a core part of the RAM's seller system, which is proprietary to us. We use data-driven market analysis to determine the precise price that creates a competitive demand for your home. We assess what's sold, what is active, what your active competition is, and what gives your home an edge. And there are 12 other variables that go into determining the exact price for your home, not something that you go to Redmond or Zillow and look at. In addition, we assess the current market conditions. We evaluate the buyer psychology, which kind of varies with how the mortgage rates and other variables in the market come into play. And then we price your home at a level that makes buyers think, this is great value. I need to act on it fast before someone else does. That's what you want to create ideally. And we help you do it. And at the end, the result is that you end up with multiple offers, buyers competing for your home, and in many cases, the final sale prices that exceed your list price, or we call it the starting price. Now that's the power of our strategic pricing. There's a whole lot more that goes in, and I'd be happy to sit with you and discuss how it all works so that you have a clear understanding. All this is done for you to not leave any money on the table. The basic premise is you create a competitive environment, evoke buyers' interest, end up with higher prices. And that's what we do at the Rams Group. We don't just list your house and hope for the best. We architect a strategic selling process that maximizes your outcome. Now, pricing is just one piece, but it's the most critical piece. So let's quickly recap what we saw. The number one pricing mistake Seattle Eastside sellers make is overpricing their home to start with. Then we saw that the first 2 weeks are absolutely critical for maximum buyer exposure. And overpricing during this window means buyers skip your home. Then price reductions signal desperation and cost you more money. Then we saw strategic pricing, which we help you do, creates competitive demand and finally drives prices up. Now, if you want the whole nine, the complete strategy tailored to your specific home, my contact information is in the description below. Feel free to direct message me, text, or book into our calendar for a 20-minute, absolutely no pressure, free consultation call. And let's together make sure that you avoid a $50,000 or $100,000 mistake. I'll connect with you soon. Take care. Bye.